there's some pretty big news that started floating out there today, and I'm guessing the pre-orders are going to go up tomorrow on Scream Factory's website because they got scooped again by our good friends over at Dawn of the Discs for, I'm guessing this is their 2 big October releases coming out. You guys want to talk about that briefly?
Yeah,
I can't wait to hear what Garrett has to say about this for some reason, because it's just like,
well, the first one up though, let's go ahead and get into it because this come out real early this morning. I think I saw it this morning, the artwork, and people started sending it to me and all that. And this is one that we had talked about before, and I'd actually told people, do not go out and spend $200 on this movie because it's getting re-released. I don't know when, but I guarantee you it's coming out in 4K, and it's coming out this October. It's Return of the Living Dead, boys.
Yeah.
Fuck. I really wish I'd have sold that Blu-ray now. Like, that makes me so mad.
Me too. I mean, I do wish, because you did say it and we all knew it, that was one that if it wasn't from Scream Factory, someone was going to put that out. They weren't going to let that just sit around, especially for the price it's going for. And now, like, honestly, people are dumping that thing left and right, and like people are getting like $20.
Yeah, you
tops
can't
for that
get
now,
anything out of it now.
So it's like at a point where it's like, I'm just going to keep mine, and I will buy the 4K of this. I think it's going to look great. It's got certain scenes on it. I'm curious to see if there's anything added. I'm sure no, there's probably nothing new there, but you know, I love this movie. I think it's going to look cool on 4K. Do I want to have to upgrade again? No. I'm kind of getting tired of this upgrading game and I'm not just going to say it's Scream Factory. I mean, it's everybody now, which is fine. But like, at the same time, I understand that if you're a collector of a certain boutique label, this is going to suck because you're not getting anything new, really. Like even Criterion, the same thing. Like Criterion's doing the same thing. They're just putting 4K UHD discs in the exact same edition that you have on Blu-ray. And to me, it's like, unless something's totally worth it, like I got to cut back. I can't do it anymore. And
but see, though, this to me is like, there's very few movies that I would buy like a 4K from Scream Factory of at this point, but something about the way this movie is filmed, it's got like some really bright, like 80s kind of colors to it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the gore and stuff too will come off really, really well in 4K. So I would definitely buy this.
You just want to see that graveyard dance in 4K.
That's going to be odd just because of a certain piece of equipment that'll probably be like visible in the 4K version.
Yeah,
you're gonna be like, what's that silly putty over there?
Yeah, Rafe, you're not going to get it's going to be the cod piece or whatever the hell she was wearing. We actually asked her about that in detail.
We did.
We have no shame at all on our interview that's on the Patreon site. But somebody else had an interesting idea, and I think that I would almost bite at this. What if they did a NECA of trash, like a limited edition?
I keep waiting for them to do something like that. Yeah,
I think that would be freaking amazing, and I would honestly want that.
I mean, the thing is, though, they very much could. Like this, we're getting news, but we're not getting everything. So they could be doing something like that, which I think would just be even cooler because that gives me more of a reason to like, all right, this is worth the upgrade now just to get this and this. And that's the problem too. And I see Ken in there says the same thing. Like at least Scream Factory's distinguishing their 4K covers. They're making them different, which I'm more about the original poster art anyways, rather than commissioned at this point. But yeah, like Arrow, and as much as I love Arrow, it's the same thing. Like they need to change it up because who's going to continue to just rebuy these just because there's an extra 4K disc in there? It's a hard sell nowadays, especially if you've been collecting a long time. Like I feel bad for Pop, right? At least I bought Return of the Living Dead for, market price the day it came out, like retail. I don't know what he could have paid for it a year ago. So those are the people I feel bad for. The people like Ken who maybe never bought this thing, he's the one that's making out now.
I think any of their kind of like mainstream releases like that, you should probably just dump right now. Because it's clear to me that they're just going to like keep rolling out these 4Ks like one right after another. So like the ones that you have kind of a cult following, that pretty good size audience to them, I would just start getting rid of them because like you end up in the same situation I'm in right now. I've got 2 copies of that fucking thing. What am I going to do with them?
You could have gave me one a long time
I'll give you one now. What does it matter?
Sure, I'll take
Shit.
it. I mean, hell. But
That's not very
I'm
rad.
glad that they went with the artwork, the original artwork, because have they ever, maybe the original MGM DVD,
Yeah.
but since then, have they ever used that artwork? And it doesn't, let's be honest, it doesn't get any better than that artwork for
It
But
doesn't.
honestly, don't you think though that the whole commissioned artwork thing has kind of gotten a little? It's kind of run its course now. I think to the point where people are just a little bit tired of that because there's a bigger chance that they're going to fuck something up than there is that they're going to get something amazing out there at this point.
Well,
I would just stick with the.
what lessens like the impact of that artwork now, especially who they're using. They're using Joel Robinson and who's the other one? Slasher Designs guy. I can't remember his name. Justin Osborne. So there's these apps now that basically do that artwork for you. And that's the truth. It's the exact same thing. I mean, the only thing that they're doing is touching it up a little bit more. But whatever programs they were using years and years ago, I mean, I think people can see that now. It's like, oh, that's just a fucking manipulated photo.
Well, I mean, you can look straight up. Like, what about that Dog Soldiers artwork? Did you see that one? It's like the worst.
Yeah.
And even like that cursed one that came out for the
Yeah.
poster was like god awful. It was embarrassing. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad they're doing this artwork. It is what it is. I'm just trying to think like what's next. Like you got to figure out what Scream Factory still owns. Sleepaway Camp would be interesting to find out. Like, do they still own that? I'm sure they still probably own Slumber Party because they've had Slumber Party for a long time. They had it in the DVD days, and during that second run. So I don't know I'm sure they probably still have that, but who knows
it's
where
Roger
Sleepaway Camp is
Corman.
now.
I think
Anything
all the
Roger
Corman
Corman,
stuff is
they've
theirs.
got. So
Yeah.
if that helps any at all, yeah.
I would be more interested in a full collection though. If they were to do like
Right.
Slumber Party Massacre and the Sorority Party Massacre movies all in one. Like I don't think that you can separate those and expect people to throw down $35 a piece for those. That's a little bit too much to ask even for Scream Factory.
Well, I think people will buy them because they're so sought after. But I agree. I think that we need to get it in a collection and not just like the way it is now. And I'm very much like I'm thinking about, geez, do I part ways with these now? Because like Uncle Bill said, now that he's didn't part ways with these, it sucks, right? Like you're kind of like, damn, like I have 2 copies of this. I could have at least got $100 for this thing, easy.
Yep.
And I would have paid for my 4K plus gave me a little extra on the side.
Well,
So
we try to tell these people, man. I mean, we were talking about this months ago, but nobody will listen to us. Still, nobody listens to us.
we say it, but we don't even listen to ourselves half the time.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
I didn't own it. I didn't have it to begin with, so this is a definite purchase.
if there's one thing the three of us are not good at, it's selling shit. Like let's just be honest. Like we can buy a lot of stuff, we just can't sell anything.
Yeah, I agree.
The other big one came out this evening, and this is a weird one because I mean I think that you've got the opportunity here to do multiple different editions of this, like different releases, different bundles, I guess they say. But right now we only know of a box set. Now, and here's the thing I was trying to figure out. It's an 8-disc set for 3 movies. What the hell is like, are they going to have, I guess, Blu-rays and 4Ks of each?
They've got to have that.
Yeah, they will. They'll do that. But that's only 6. So I guess the other 2 are just what?
Well, they're going to do like the producer's cut for 6.
Yeah,
that would be
that'd be 7.
So you would have
And then
a
an
Blu-ray
extras
of 7
bonus
and
disc or
4K
something.
Yeah, a Blu-ray of Part 6 and a 4K of Part 6 producer's cut.
Yeah.
I mean, put it this way:
There's
they
that
need to
special,
have,
man.
they need to have something special in that box because, in my opinion, like that's like the worst years for Halloween. So, I was talking to some people earlier, and they mentioned this might be the only way to do it because they probably looking as like shit. These aren't going to sell standalone, right? Like,
Well, that's my question. Are they going
Right.
to release those standalone, or are they just going to release that box set? Because number one, if you don't release them standalone, I think you piss a lot of people off. That'll just be like, I don't want to buy a whole box set, get fucking Resurrection stuff. But if you don't, it's just like nobody's going to buy those. Nobody's going to buy Resurrection. Like that's the thing, and maybe not even H2O either. So or 6. I don't know. I think
Well, I
people
mean,
like
there's-
H2O more than 6.
There's some
really.
people that like that just want to get H2O.
So
Here's
you're
the thing,
gonna-
though. Here's one thing that I'm asking you guys. Maybe because I can't think of any. Have they ever done a box set and then also did individual releases along with the box set? Has that ever happened before?
Not that I'm aware of. No, I don't think so. Because like, even still, these other ones, would be a real dick move if you can't, and it's not like
I mean,
it's not the same, artwork as we just got on the 4Ks, because they just re-released a bunch of those 4Ks with like the posters and stuff. And it was like, were they just looking to get rid of backstock, or are they like going to make a bundle that these all can fit with those? You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like a real, sketchy move that they'd re-release all this stuff, get people hyped up, and then to just have these come out and it's like you can't even box them together. My biggest goal is I just think they should have a cool bundle. Would be like, hey, here's all three, plus you get a box that will house if you bought all of them from the back end. I mean, why wouldn't they do something like that? Because imagine if you didn't get 5 and you bought everything else and you got that big box, and wouldn't you just go buy 5 to complete it? So to me, it's like you're doing it that way would sell more copies of ones that people didn't pick up earlier, just to have a complete collection. And with the artwork, like, it's got to match. Because imagine just having a box set sitting in the back that says like Halloween years 1995 to 2000. It's like a weird, like, to me that's like an embarrassing set to just have. Like, I would almost rather skip it, even though it's going to be a hard skip for me, because I like to have Halloween. As much as I don't care about these 3 movies that much, I like to have the best editions of the collection. But it's just a very weird move. I'm curious to see what these things look like inside that box.
Yeah, they didn't do. I was sitting here thinking they didn't do anything like that with like Friday the 13th or the other Halloween set. Like, they didn't take any of them and make them individual kind of discs that you could buy. But more so than that, if they're going to release a box set and have those titles in it, right? Then the only way I think that you have to release them individually as well, but have something in the box set that would like appeal to collectors like that. If they're not going to even do anything like that, then I don't understand.
We'll see. We'll probably find out tomorrow for sure what they're going to do. It would be very easy. I mean, they just released the Halloween one, the other ones last year. So, I mean, it would be kind of odd, really, for them to do just a complete separate, the artwork doesn't match on this box at all. The artwork is extremely ugly on this box, too.
But it's completely going away from the last look, because I guess everybody bitched about it so much that, I mean, and rightfully so, but I mean, they did something completely different. I think eventually what they'll do, just to be complete assholes, is they'll just come out with a whole huge box set that has the Rob Zombie, it has everything else and the Rob Zombie ones, and like anything else they can get licensed to.
I mean, if there's no addition to, like, if there's no bundle to get these all in a box set, they're going to re-release them all in a box set, and that's going to really piss people off, because
I guarantee they'll do that, though.
Imagine, let's just think about it this way, as a collector standpoint. Imagine they don't even give you any option to get a box set for the first 5 or a big box to house everything in. What are you going to have on your shelf? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these weird leaf covers, and then next to it, this big box that's housing the rest. Like, that's a weird thing. Like, collectors don't want that. It's like, you want everything to kind of match aesthetically, not just like, hey, here's 5 standalones, and then the crappy ones are in just a box that's sitting next to it. It's just a weird thing that in 2022 a company would do for people that they know are so like collecting crazy, right? Like, it's a weird move, I think.
It is Scheme Factory, though.
Yeah, they're just like, I don't think they give a shit. I really don't. I don't think they care at all.
I mean, the truth is, people are going to buy this regardless. Like, yeah. It's the Halloween movies. It's a new edition in 4K. They'll probably throw some new extras and shit on there too. I mean, we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. I'm interested in seeing what the price is for this thing. I think it's kind of shady to have 8 discs for 3 movies. Like, seriously? For one thing, you don't even need you already released the fucking Blu-rays. Right. Who wants the Blu-rays? So why are you even throwing that in other than to just jack the price up? It sounds like you're getting more or whatever, when everybody and their mother that buys that's never putting those Blu-rays in the player. It's never happening.
Yeah, it's weird. And you know what? It's going to be hard, man, because even when it comes to these 4Ks, like, I really have to fight with myself to be like, you're not double dipping on Species. You're not double dipping on, like,
that's not hard for me at all.
You know, like I always think about it and then I don't do it. And I know at the same time, this is going to be another one of those struggles. And I'm curious to see, like, I hope they do something where they give us a big box to put everything, because it just will make my life easier when it comes to, do I get this or not? I think if this is only the box we're getting, it's going to be a tough sell for me, because, you know, if they've got 8 discs in there, like, that thing's going to be $100 probably, you know, and they're probably going to give you freaking soundtracks or posters or whatever. Like, if Chucky was 100 and something, then why would this be any less? So
Yeah,
what about you, Uncle Bill? You going to buy it? You going to get it by God?
I mean, the only reason that I would really want it would be for Part 6. Now, if they're going to tell me that they're not releasing Part 6 whatsoever in anything else on 4K, like, then yeah, I'd probably buy it. As sad as that is, I've seen H2O like a million times when I was growing up. I just don't have any desire to watch that. And nobody has any desire to watch Resurrection. So, I mean, I basically just, just saying that out loud is fucked up. That I'd just be buying it for Part 6. Like, I guess so.
I think it's going to be a hard sell for Scream Factory. I mean, you're going to get the hardcores, like I was saying. They're definitely going to buy it, but compared to the original, you know, the last year's movies, the first 5, which there's a huge fan base for those, and these ones, like, I love Part 6, but a lot of people hate it. A lot of people are not fans of Part 6.
But a lot of people though also go in for the producer's cut. They're like, oh, you know, it's a better movie and it's all this and that. I don't think so, but I remember when that damn thing started coming out and people were just losing their mind. And, you know, so maybe that'll be the thing that sells it.
Yeah, they have some gutter guard pins that'll add another $70 onto the package.
I'm just, you know, I really think in my heart of hearts that the only reason they did this was because of Resurrection, because they knew they couldn't sell Resurrection like on its own. Like,
yeah, Resurrection, man, that's a tough one. I've maybe watched that movie 3 times. It's a tough one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, somebody mentions that they had brought this email. I think a couple people talked about this. Let's see, what was it? It was earlier this evening about like an insurance that they're adding on to their regular shipping.
Oh, this is amazing. I'd forgotten about this. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, let's see here. Raised on Fiction, I think, has got it. It's, what do you guys think of that shipping insurance option they emailed about? I bet that means they cover nothing if you opt out.
It's, what was it called? Like, somebody on the chat will know. Like, it was a particular brand where they specialize in like shipping. And what it reminds me of, Garrett, you know this too. If you've ever bought anything from like Big Bad Toy Store,
Yeah,
they have
collector,
they have the option to do like a collector's packaging where they're basically going to shove so much shit in it that it can't move and it'll get there in mint condition, or like a regular shipping, which is less money. And that's what they want to do with this Scream Factory stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, I'm like, every other company that I can think of is just trying to make sure that your regular shipping is that way. Like, they're not fucking, you know, being like, hey, our regular shipping is dog shit. We know this. So if you want to buy this upper tier,
yeah, we'll actually put it in a box instead of a fucking bubble mailer, what they normally do. And that's the truth. Like, if you order a regular Blu-ray that doesn't have a poster or anything with it, it's in a bubble mailer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's true.
I know that there's going to be some collectors that are going to do this to like guarantee that it gets there, but like that should be what they're doing anyway. Like, but without the extra cost.
At the same time, this could be the company that like gets that train going, and then all of a sudden everybody else starts adding this little option on. And because I feel like someone like Vinegar Syndrome, their shit's packaged really well when I get it. So what are they going to do if they add this charge? Like, we're going to decide to package your stuff a crappy way if you don't pay for this. Because I've never chosen the collector's shipping from Big Bad Toy Store, and
me either.
I can't say that any of my stuff's ever come bad.
No, that's the thing. I've never used that either, and I've never gotten like anything that was even remotely like bent or dented or anything like that. So I don't. It's like buying fucking insurance on appliances. It's just a waste of fucking money. They know that. Like, you buy, you know, you're gonna buy like a year insurance on a fucking refrigerator. Them fucking things last 20 years. It's just a gimmick to get your money.
Yeah, some of the
Maybe same
best
kind of thing.
shipping is from Orbit DVD, and they ship media mail. I mean, that's the standard option. But man, they secure this fucking thing in like bubble wrap. It would float to you, right? I mean, it's like you got a full size box for one disc. Scream Factory, even though you're paying, how much are they? How much is shipping at Scream Factory? It's like crazy high.
It is high, yeah.
$10 or something like that, I think. And man, you get it, I swear to God, every time in a bubble mailer.
Do you remember when they? I remember Scream Factory had those issues. Remember when they started doing like a lot of those lithographs or whatever? I swear, when they were doing that, every one I was getting was destroyed. Every single one, and they didn't do anything about it. But it was like everyone that came in, like they had them in like these weird. They weren't poster tubes. It was almost like this like half-assed paper tube that they kind of bent the corners in to like concave them or whatever. Like there was no tube or whatever. Those things used to get smashed and they would be destroyed every single time I got them, to a point where I just started throwing them away because I didn't, there was nothing I could do with them. So there was a period of time where they were doing it bad, but I think that they've been doing better. So like, again, but I don't ever order like single items from them. That's usually I'm either ordering a boatload of stuff at once, or, you know, if I'm pre-ordering, I'm getting a poster and they're sending it in a better way. So I've never had an issue with them personally.
Most of the time, the stuff that I get from, if I order more than one thing, is just in a box with like the Screen Factory like paper wrapped around it. Like that, unless like it's a big item where they got the posters and all that other shit in it. But like just regular like, you know, Blu-rays and things like that, like it usually just comes that way. And I mean, I don't recall ever having any kind of problem with Screen Factory shipping, actually. Which, I mean, I didn't get a lot of the posters or anything, but just in for the Blu-rays and stuff like that, I don't remember having a problem. I feel like this is just, it's just going to be a giant waste of money.
Yeah, and I know that
do that.
Those were the news that we got, but you know, just jumping back in, because I know we're not going to talk about it too much, but the re-releases on the upgrades is they just announced they're going to redo Bill and Ted for 4K. And it's like, it's one of those things where, hey, I absolutely love Bill and Ted, but they did a great addition before, and I just don't think, in my opinion, that item is going to be worth an upgrade for me, even though I love it. But it's like, it doesn't even seem like there's enough meat on the bone for me to even go after that at this point. But it just goes back to the same thing. It's just like constant stuff.
Yeah, so we'll find out more probably tomorrow morning. We'll see what all the bundles are, how many different pins we can get, lithographs, posters, figures.
I pray that they go, like they do something else besides pins.
Maybe they'll do little vinyl soundtracks. You could do like a couple of songs from Return of the Living Dead would be cool. I mean,
you know for a fact too, if they do pins, Busta Rhymes is going to be one of them fucking pins. I guarantee it.
That would be pretty killer, actually. But
give us the thumbs up.
Up your butt.
Like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a if you do or
I
don't.
want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. And click that bell.
For this video officially, it's Old Curly Jaws has a message for you. Go on over to shop.deadpit.com and go look at their Teen Public store right now. You got some new shirts like the Old Curly Jaws official t-shirt, which is brutal and badass. You got the Yummy Gummy shirt with the captain himself on the shirt. You got Uncle Bill's face on a fucking shirt. You got the Final Girl shirt. You got all these shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Get them before they're all out, especially the new one, Bedtime 1039. It doesn't get better than that, so go on out. Check out these shirts at shop.deadpit.com. Go look at their Teen Public store. You're going to have a good old time. Get them all!
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. DEADPIT on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.